What are the biggest mistakes people tend to make in their 20s? One massive mistake young people often make is underestimating the true value of time. I recall having a conversation with a wealthy friend who was quite a bit older than me. I jokingly proposed that I'd trade my youth for his financial success. His response really resonated with me. "I could achieve more with your time than you could with my money." It wasn't intended as an insult, but as a wake-up call to use my time wisely and avoid squandering it on unimportant things. That's incredibly accurate. If I were to suddenly come into a large sum of money, I'd likely spend it on video games, essentially wasting even more time. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that I don't have much money to throw away. I already waste enough time on trivial pursuits. Another significant mistake is excessive alcohol consumption. It's all too easy to lose years of your life to drinking, under the guise of having a good time or letting loose. A close friend of mine recently confronted his alcoholism head-on. He realized that being blackout drunk every week for almost a decade was far from normal and certainly not healthy. You're absolutely right, it's not normal, but excessive drinking often gets overlooked in college environments. At some schools, the party culture can be incredibly toxic. If you're not hitting the bars with friends on Thursday nights, you feel like you don't fit in, which can be quite uncomfortable. One common mistake is taking out loans and credit cards they can't fully pay off or consistently living beyond their means. I've experienced this situation firsthand. Now I'm dealing with the consequences of trying to keep up with people who earned more than me. I'm looking at about 2 to 3 more years of diligent budgeting and repayment before I'm finally free of debt. However, it's important not to completely avoid loans and credit cards either.
Wise up.
Striking a balance is key. At 29, I have terrible credit because I never used it. While I have no debt, my poor credit history is now preventing me from purchasing nice things that I can actually afford. Many young people also neglect to establish a healthy lifestyle routine in their 20s. When older folks warn you that it gets a lot harder when you're older, they're not exaggerating. Developing good habits while you're young is essential because breaking bad habits later in life can be incredibly challenging. But always remember that it's never too late to start treating your body better. Don't give up just because you're older. Instead of making excuses or feeling defeated, set realistic goals for yourself. Begin incorporating healthier choices into your daily routine, and before you know it, you'll start seeing improvements in your overall well-being. Neglecting to wear sunscreen is a huge mistake that many people don't realize until it's too late. Seriously, make sunscreen a part of your daily routine. Just one sunburn can triple your risk of developing melanoma later in life. I've worked alongside older individuals in various outdoor professions who now suffer from skin cancer and regret not using sunscreen consistently. Heed Baz Luhrmann's advice and wear sunscreen. If you're concerned about certain chemicals found in sunscreens, there are alternative options available. For example, Korean sunscreens are smooth like lotion, non-sticky, and free of some of the harsher chemicals found in American sunscreens. Make applying sunscreen a daily habit, and you'll thank yourself later in life. I'm 31 years old, and I've been wearing sunscreen daily since I was 17. People often tell me that I look like I'm in my early 20s. Trust me, the effort is worth it. For several of my high school friends, experimenting with heroin after trying prescription pills was a devastating mistake. 6 of them have died, while the others are either still battling addiction or have severely damaged their lives. I remember when they started dabbling in heroin after getting bored with marijuana. Out of all my friends who struggled with addiction, only one managed to turn their life around. I'm currently supporting a friend who's been dealing with a pill addiction for the past year, and I sincerely hope he doesn't resort to heroin. It's incredibly difficult to watch someone you care about spiral downward like that. Some common mistakes people make in their 20s include taking loved ones and their health for granted. Overspending, being too afraid to take risks, and not reflecting on what genuinely matters in life. Think about short-term gratification versus long-term satisfaction and what experiences or achievements you'd prioritize if your life expectancy were suddenly shortened. I've often heard the advice, travel while you're young, but I struggle to understand how anyone expects me to afford that. I work 2 jobs and can barely make ends meet as it is. How does one manage to travel frugally? Many young adults have a propensity for purchasing vehicles that are beyond their means, not fully understanding the financial implications of owning a high-end car. They often fail to take into account the steep insurance rates that typically accompany luxury vehicles. I've witnessed this phenomenon firsthand, as several of my friends in their late teens and early 20s made this mistake. A friend of mine once purchased a used Infiniti G37 Coupe, primarily because it had an appealing aesthetic. It wasn't long before he inquired about my car insurance rate, only to discover that he was paying nearly $300 per month solely for insurance. Coupled with his car payment of around $350 for a 5-year loan, he ended up shelling out almost $700 each month for a car that had an original price tag of just $20,000. Many young people have a tendency to rely on their potential, leading them to procrastinate rather than actively pursue their goals. They might enjoy being known as the smart kid at school or university, but eventually, they find themselves nearing 30, watching younger celebrities achieve great things, and wondering where to even begin. If you truly desire something, it's crucial to start working towards it while you're still young and full of enthusiasm. I can personally attest to the struggle of being young and eager but unsure of what I want in life. I often feel as though I'm coasting through life without a clear destination, and it's incredibly frustrating. I yearn to be someone of value and substance, but without specific goals or ambition, it's difficult to know what changes to make in order to find success and fulfillment. A common misconception among young people is that they have ample time to save for retirement. However, it's crucial to start saving as early as possible, ideally when you land a higher-paying job. By allocating a percentage of your pay increase to savings from the start, you'll hardly notice the difference in your disposable income. I wholeheartedly agree with this sentiment. Saving even a modest 5% of your income in a 401k during your 20 seconds can be worth as much as 10 minutes 15% saved during your 30 seconds. It's astounding how effortless it can be to build a comfortable nest egg, even if the initial contributions seem insignificant. Over time, the power of compound interest works its magic, allowing your savings to grow exponentially. One common financial pitfall young people often encounter is maxing out credit cards. This typically occurs because they've seen their parents open credit cards at major retail stores without fully comprehending the implications of such actions. Since most teenagers lack a strong foundation in financial skills upon graduating high school, they end up opening credit cards and using them irresponsibly, just as their parents did. Credit cards can be a fantastic financial tool when used responsibly and paid off monthly. However, the interest rates, which can be upwards of 20%, are incredibly high. My dad always refers to the interest charged on credit card purchases as a stupid tax, emphasizing the importance of managing credit card usage wisely to avoid falling into debt. It's crucial to prioritize self-care, as the habits we establish now will continue to impact us for years to come. I'm 27, and it's just hitting me how true this is, so I've been working to turn things around. That means cutting back on drinking, eating more salads, and reducing my carb intake, among other things. Additionally, avoid squandering money on frivolous purchases. Whenever you're tempted to buy something questionable, ask yourself, will I regret owning this in 2 years? I'm also 27, and I'm in the process of changing some habits too. It's incredibly challenging, and I can't help but wish I had started working on these improvements 10 years ago. Nonetheless, I'm hopeful that I can make some positive changes before I hit the big 3-0. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Answerly Stories for more interesting real-life stories and experiences.